So today I want to talk about what I saw in 15 minutes at OU's practice and all that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kid folk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time, and I went with local media to the final viewing of OU's training camp. Now, there were two. There was one earlier, and this was the second one on Monday night, where folks that work for local media, work at the Sports Animal, come down and shoot video and take photos for the purposes of, putting together shows, getting sound, getting audio. Those things are important. If you want to see the video that I took, you can check out the Facebook account at Sports Animal, and you can check out the Twitter account at Tulsa Animal 971. Would also appreciate it if you listen to my show from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. on weekdays on the Animal, where I did this segment earlier today, but I understand that there are a lot of folks that just couldn't either listen on terrestrial radio or couldn't get to the link, so I'm kind of going to recap what I recapped this morning. And the first thing was, look, the boys look really good. They look so very much in shape. And I don't just mean like cock diesel and cut up and whatnot. Guys like Tre Brown have put on some good weight. I mean, it was sweltering. I mean, the heat index out here yesterday was around 110, 112. As soon as I got out of my truck, the parking garage, to walk downstairs, I'm just pouring. And most of you know I spend about 90 minutes on a step mill every single day. Don't necessarily do the show from there anymore, hence the title. But you can understand that I'm in shape, right? I'm not just out here sweating to be sweating, except yesterday when I, along with anybody else that was in Oklahoma, felt like you were sweating buckets. And the kiddos, from the skill position players to the offensive linemen, did not look phased. They look like, hey, we're used to this. We've been in this. We understand what it is. We understand the humidity. They were going through drills. They look good. The wide receivers look so smooth. I mean, it's one thing to know what good football looks like. It's another thing to be able to be like, man, if everybody can make it look that effortless, how much joyous would playing the game of football be? And that's one of the reasons that we hold up these kiddos, right? That we hold up professionals. They can do these things so gracefully and with such speed and with such burst that it is quite considerably outstanding and amazing to watch more often than not. Other thing that I took away is it seems like Alex Grinch kind of got his 11, right? I think right now he's trying to work on the 2 deep. I think we could be pretty safe in, projecting a depth chart right now. He didn't, right? This would be me doing it. But everything that I have heard from him, everything that we have read across, all of the folks that I send text messages to, look, man, I think you could be pretty comfortable with how he's talking about these kids and who he believes in. Especially with Norwood going down, you kind of shrunk the pool a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and RJ, am going to project. I think you're going to end up with Pat Fields at safety, Delaren Turner-Yell at safety, Buki at nickel, Tre Brown at corner. I think you can lock those 4 in. I think Parnell Motley's probably going to start at corner, and I'm going to get into why. But if he didn't, I think Jordan Parker would probably be next up. On the defensive line, Neville Gallimore, obviously. Probably a Dylan Fa-Matau or Q Overton in the middle next to him. Ronnie Perkins, Kenneth Mann, those are your 2 deep on the outside. And then at rush in, if Jalen Redmond is healthy, I think that's the dude that goes. Even as I'm going, is he going to stay healthy? I think they really like what he has provided. I think they know what they have in him. Even as Grinch said, hey, I haven't actually got to see the guy play. We didn't see him out there. Didn't see Dylan Fa-Matau out in pads either, or Eric Switzer for that matter, at the viewing. But, man, I think that's a pretty stout front 4, a pretty stout back 5. And then in the middle, I think you got to go Kithmer Jr. and Deshaun White. Those would be the folks that I expect to be the first team out when they play Houston on September 1st. I think now it's about providing depth. And I think this is where you could see some of the true freshmen start to emerge defensively. Guys like Jaden Davis, Woody Washington, they were out. Man, they look good. Jeremiah Cradell looks polished. Jamal Morris just continues to be a guy that you just, every once in a while you're looking around going, that's Morris, Robert Barnes still out there looking good. Chance Sylvie as well. They were doing press stuff when we were there. They were doing press drills. Mark Jackson had his jersey tucked underneath his shoulder pads because he's feeling himself down there in the midsection. He felt pretty good about himself. Joseph Wette looks good. I could keep going. You understand. It's really difficult to say who looked bad in a setting like that because you're not going to see a whole lot. We saw a lot of stretching. Saw a lot of warming up. Saw some one-on-ones, and then we were shooed out because, again, 15 minutes to get what you got. All the local media reporters are just scurrying about. They're taking photos. They're just trying to get as much as they can to deliver to you. I'm sure that if you have a Twitter account, you've seen some of the work that Nate Fakin is doing. Some of my colleagues at OU Insider, Colin Kennedy, Joey Helmer, Brandon Drum, they've all put stuff out, and you can look around. Eric Bailey had his phone out. Blevins had his phone out. Everybody was trying to smash and grab, right? Because you only get so many opportunities to do this. And by so many, I mean 2. And we're probably not going to see any bit of practice for the rest of the season. This place is buttoned down when it comes to who sees what, which is one of the reasons why I tried to make it a priority. It's 2 hours from where I live to Norman. So I jump on the Turner Turnpike. Nearly ran out of gas. That wasn't fun. I white knuckled it from about Luther to the Shell gas station just when you get off at Turner Turnpike and you're heading on to I-35, man. Yeah, that was not a fun ride because I'm looking at this gas marker just laying on red going, my truck's going to put me down anyway. But you know what? She kept rolling. I got a steady one. Love my truck. Love her. Just getting it done, man. Said, no, we're running on fumes. It's cool. Then I filled it right up, 30 gallons. That was not cheap, but you know what? Dropped more in there, squeezed it off in there a little bit more, made sure that it was good and full in there, then set it off down for the next 30 miles to Norman. Man, going into that place, seeing what you see is always cool, right? I spent 6 years of my life in Norman. I got my master's degree from the University of Oklahoma. I spent a lot of time in the Red Room trying to cover this team professionally, working at the student newspaper, the OU Daily, which I've said puts out more first-round draft picks than the football team does. You just look around at some of the people that came out of the OU Daily, and you would be shocked. I mean, some of those folks you actually know by name now, like Baxter Holmes, who covers the NBA, has become a really great investigative reporter. Royce Young covers the Thunder. He came out of Daily. Those are 2 that I just got off the top of my head, man. I could keep going, but there's no need. The other thing that I thought was really interesting about this was Alex Grinch is 100% a football guy. I mean, he's loud, he's hoarse, he was cursing lightly, but in a good way. He's the kind of dude that was yelling at folks, but it felt like the kids understood that he loved them. And I'm always a proponent of, yell but coax. Yell but coax. Put your arms around it, because if you're just yelling at somebody, you're probably not going to get the best out of them if they don't know that you love them, right? And I feel like Grinch is able to get that across. Guys like Buki, he's mentioned, have won his respect in a real way. Maybe a guy that he didn't have just that high let's not say high. Let's say the understanding wasn't there. And now that you're going through camp and you get to see that Brendan Radley Hiles is 100% that dude, you want to pull for him. And I think we're going to get to see him play more nickel than not. Still would love to see him play corner, but this is what Grinch wants me to do. Buki's fine with it. Let's roll with it, see how it goes. Last thing that I thought was interesting is try telling me one of those quarterbacks can't play at Oklahoma. Go ahead. I'll wait. That's not it, man. Said that from jump, but just seeing him toss the ball around. Every last one of those guys can start at OU. It's just one. It's not better than the other. It's not better than the other. It's not better than the other. That's it. And the margins in this game are so thin. You know, you've heard me say it before, but Austin Kendall and Jalen Hurts come out at the same time. The difference is Jalen Hurts got a chance to play. Austin Kendall sat behind Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray. It's that thin, man. Just getting on the field versus not getting on the field. And that I find just straight up fascinating. In a day where true freshmen are more likely to play the most coveted position in football, quarterback, than at any other time in major college football. Fascinating stuff. All right, that's it for me. Doses.